This right here is the moment of truth. A man has just been convicted of murder, and emotions are boiling over. What should have been a quiet, heavy ending takes a wild turn, tension snaps, and chaos erupts. You can feel the air shift. Shouts, fly movement breaks out. The courtroom, once silent, turns into a battleground. This isn't just a legal verdict, it's a full-blown emotional explosion. Stay locked in, because things are spiraling fast, and nobody saw this coming.
Out and receive the verdict. Thank you. And thanks the alternate jurors for holding vigil. Thank you very much. And the record shall now show that the jury is in the courtroom. Mr. Jones, yes, I believe you are the jury foreperson.
I am.
And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Number one, the court has received a message from the jury that the jury has reached a verdict in this case. Is that so, sir?
Yes, sir.
Is this a unanimous verdict? That is one that is agreed upon by all members of the jury?
It is.
Do any of the jurors disagree with your foreperson's representations? No disagreement. It does appear to indeed be unanimous. If you would be so kind, pass the documents to the bailiff. You may be seated. I will review for proper form and publish the verdict, and the defendant shall rise. In cause number 22-39014, the state of Texas versus Stephen Rayvon Angel, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of the offense of murder as charged in the indictment signed by the jury foreperson. The verdict is received.
Guilty on all counts and in Texas. That's no small deal. We're talking real consequences, possibly even life behind bars. But instead of grief, remorse, or silence, this courtroom detonates. Emotions don't simmer, they explode. Expect heartbreak, but what you get is chaos. Tension cuts through the air like a knife, and the whole room shifts from legal order to near riot. This isn't just a sentencing, it's a total courtroom breakdown.
It's made a part of the record for all purposes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, at this time I have accepted your verdict finding the defendant guilty of the offense of murder as indicted in this case, and that brings us to a close of phase one of this bifurcated two-part trial. We will now proceed with the punishment phase of this trial. And once again, let me repeat, you are still under the instructions that the court has given to you up to now. Let me see lawyers, please. Thank you. Break for lunch. Can all of you return back? Is 1:30 going to be enough time? It's 1:23 now. That's a little over an hour. Is that good? Okay. Thank you. And we'll wait on it. You're coming in from lunch a little tardy. That's all right. Please remember the instructions the court has given to you. We'll see you all back at 1:30. Thank you very much. Everyone else remain seated while the jury exits first. Thank you. Anything to be brought up by the parties at this time, state or defense? We're in recess till 1:30 on this case. David, let's get your stuff done. Thank you.
Let me ask you this. Someone you loved was just convicted of murder. How would you react? Grief, shock, rage? Now take that pain and picture a full-blown brawl erupting right there in front of the judge. Chairs flying, deputies scrambling, emotions boiling over. This isn't just courtroom drama, it's a full-on courtroom disaster. What should have been a moment of justice turned into chaos, right inside the very place meant to uphold the law.
Hey, get us outside, right now. Tommy? Come on, we need some help here. Place in the record, within the last hour, the court received a verdict from the jury in the case of Stephen Angel in a murder case, and the jury found the defendant guilty of the offense of murder as alleged in the indictment. So the court accepted the verdict and then broke for the lunch hour. And as participants and the jury and spectators were leaving the courtroom, this court saw some activity at the doorway, and I could see one or two bodies, and it was obvious that physical confrontation was going on at the doorway, inside the doorway, and at the doorway of this courtroom, as the court was still in session on this matter. I've reviewed a video, because we got videos everywhere, and I see three people flailing, punching at each other at the doorway of this courtroom, and breaking some of the chairs outside.
A fight erupts right inside the courtroom. Doors slammed, chairs smashed, and fists flying in every direction. It's absolute mayhem. The judge watches from the bench, not with shock, but with steely focus, already knowing exactly what comes. Next, contempt charges, arrests, lifetime bans. One thing's for sure, this outburst just changed the course of the case, and no one in that room is walking away the same.
Fist fight going on. Y'all three, I recognize all three of you. This is a court of justice, a courthouse of justice, of honor. This is the last thing that should ever happen in this building, because we're trying to resolve problems in a humane and dignified and educated and advanced method. We're not cavemen, although you three acted like it, like we were back in the caves again, without any rules, without any sense of respect for each other. The proceedings moved forward in due process. The jury had their job, the attorneys had their job, and then we went through the penal code, the code of criminal procedure, and the rules of evidence to get to a disposition in this case, like we do in every case, using the rule of law, not fist fighting in front of the public. Can you imagine if this is what we did normally? We don't really need a building. We just meet and punch it out. We're not cavemen. We're supposed to be advanced thinkers. But not everybody thinks advanced thought. That's foolish. That was foolish. And I see assaults. Now, I understand that no one wants to press charges against anybody. But let me tell you this.
Here's where the courtroom chaos hits a legal wall criminal contempt of court. That's not just a slap on the wrist. We're talking up to 6 months in jail, no jury needed, and no drawn-out trial. The judge can hand down the punishment right then and there. This is raw, unfiltered judicial power in motion. When the court's authority is disrespected, consequences come fast and they come hard.
You do it at the door of my courtroom while in session, you're going to get held in contempt of court. All three of you are charged with contempt of court. Carries with it up to 60 days in jail, 180 days in jail, 6 months. 6 months. And don't think I won't set an example, because this isn't going to be the kind of activity that decent, law-abiding, advanced human thought in America is supposed to be about. And it'll be made an example out of. And we got the video, and it didn't happen exactly in my presence. So it's going to be what's called constructive contempt. It still happened over this court's authority and power at the door of its courtroom while in session, which means I can't hold a hearing right now. But what I'm going to do is you're all arrested. You're going to go to jail, and we'll bring you back, and we'll have hearings on each of these cases, and I'll get to make the determination up to 6 months in the county jail. And don't you think I won't make an example, because this isn't the kind of behavior which you can do and then walk away from it as though nothing happened. We're supposed to set examples of behavior for all of us. And some of these cases have terrible situations. I presided over the James Byrd murder cases. I was one of the prosecutors. You don't think that was hostile? Because there were a lot of folks who felt like justice needed to be served in different ways, but we did the rule of law. The rule of law worked. Those people were prosecuted and then executed.
The judge brings up the James Byrd hate crime, a chilling reminder of one of Texas's darkest chapters. This isn't just courtroom theatrics anymore. By invoking that case, he's making it clear. Violence, especially in a place meant for justice, can't be tolerated. It's not just about maintaining order, it's about respecting the legacy of those who suffered and ensuring the court remains a place of law, not chaos.
For what they did. You don't think that the experience and the sacrifices that we put in to see humanitarian ways of doing justice and the rule of law and due process works? Or is there another way? No, it worked so that the people knew that this Constitution, the flag, and the rules in the Constitution are something to be honored, that we handle our problems in a disciplined, mature, advanced method so that we are the example for the rest of the world. But that's not the way that worked out there in that doorway. All y'all did was acted like the kids do at school grounds before we learned and get educated, duking it out there in front of everybody. People are here to resolve their problems in an honorable, disciplined way under the rule of law. What kind of example is that set that y'all can duke it out and just flail at each other, break things, and disrupt the proceeding? Disrupted my proceeding. I had to stop the proceedings that we were conducting here to finish this. But you got my attention, and you're gonna have hearings, each of you, and I'll get to make the decision because you don't have a jury trial. It's in front of me, and you can be ultimately sentenced in jail up to 6 months. Does everybody understand that? All of you? This is what's called criminal contempt rather than civil contempt, because you can be placed up to 6 months. So all of you will be arrested. Each of you are going to be, there's a bond that I'm ordering of $1,000 in each case. For each case, I'm going to set this for a hearing in 4 to 6 weeks. And if you're unable to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you. Are all of you going to be able to hire attorneys, or are you going to need appointed attorneys? Sir, you're going to hire somebody, and you, sir, Ms. Point, you want somebody to, we're going to get you to fill something out. I need him to do an indigent form. If you're indigent or unable to hire somebody, one will be appointed immediately to help you, okay? And again, criminal contempt is punishable because it concerns an act which affronts the dignity and authority of the court. And the primary purpose of criminal contempt proceeding is to vindicate the public authority. And committing assaults in the doorway of a courtroom, where in this courthouse, where justice is the determining goal in all of our proceedings, in a dignified and non-hostile way of advanced human actions and thought. That's the way we're supposed to conduct ourselves. And every case has emotional issues. We never have problems like we had just a moment ago. And that cannot be tolerated, and it will not be. It will have its punishment attached to the actions. Does everybody understand?
This wasn't just a courtroom brawl, it was a total breakdown of respect, law, and basic human decency. In the very place where justice is supposed to prevail, chaos took over. But the judge didn't flinch. His response was swift, sharp, and absolutely necessary. Because here's the truth: if order dies in a courtroom, the last safe space for justice, then where can it survive?
All right, that is all. We're in recess on this. Then you're all taken into custody, and $1,000 bond is ordered.
No, we'll take care of it. We're going to have a story all
Sure, yeah, talk to the bailiff and they'll work it out with you. Thank you.